when the media went crazy over the issue of anchor babies? Planned Parenthood said, well, why don't we just call them anchor units or anchor specimens? Well, we've got a better idea. Coming now to introduce this great man of God and hero from the Media Research Center, would you please welcome Katie Yoder.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you our next speaker, a rising star in the pro-life movement. His work has flooded social media, inspired hundreds of nationwide protests, influenced the presidential campaign, and spurred a call on Congress to defund abortion giant Planned Parenthood. You probably already guessed that I'm talking about David Daleiden. In 2013, David started the nonprofit Center for Medical Progress, through which he produced a years-long investigation exposing Planned Parenthood's barbaric practice of harvesting the body parts of aborted babies. His videos show a Planned Parenthood executive discuss the harvesting of baby hearts and lungs over wine. His videos show an executive joking about a Lamborghini funded through baby pieces. His videos show an abortion worker as she describes cutting open a baby with a beating heart. So far, the Center for Medical Progress has released more than 17 hours of shocking footage. Also shocking, the broadcast networks have played less than 2 minutes of that footage during their news shows. But David's work demands reaction. His videos have led to multiple interviews on CNN and Fox News. His videos have people, from politicians to citizens, crying out against Planned Parenthood's profit from blood money. He's the game changer of the pro-life movement, of the fight to protect and defend society's most vulnerable, the unborn. Please welcome David Daleiden.
Good afternoon. I'm honored to be able to speak to all of you here at the Values Voter Summit about my work exposing Planned Parenthood's criminal sale of aborted baby parts. I think we're all here at this conference because we have values that we know are good and important to share and are a foundation we can build from together. I started the Center for Medical Progress to do citizen journalism that would shine a strong and clarifying spotlight on contemporary bioethical issues that impact human dignity. The sad and horrifying reality is that in the United States of America, in 2015, there are for-profit companies and taxpayer-funded abortion clinics where every day people harvest and sell the body parts of aborted children. Many of you have now seen the videos of top-level Planned Parenthood executives and abortion doctors callously discussing how to use illegal partial birth abortion procedures to harvest the hearts, lungs, livers, and brains of live babies for profit. CMP's citizen journalist investigators spent 30 months networking within the deepest, darkest levels of Planned Parenthood's billion-dollar abortion business to document and illustrate the barbaric trade in body parts that Planned Parenthood is corporately engaged in. We call this project the Human Capital Project as a wordplay on the typical business term because it explores the business value of human bodies to Planned Parenthood. I want to play a little bit of that footage now. And as a warning, some of it may be a little hard to watch.
I thought I was going to be just drawing blood, not procuring tissue from aborted fetuses. They partner with Planned Parenthood and they get part of the money.
So I was talking to Mary about what I'm trying to offer to clinics as a procurement service, and she said, you know all about this.
You know, you can imagine where they would run with this, like they're selling body part, you know.
So I say, okay, what are you looking to supply today?
We were asked to procure certain tissues like brain, liver, thymus, pancreas, heart, lungs, skin, pretty much anything on the fetus.
A lot of people want intact parts these days because they're looking for specific nodes. AV nodes, SA. I was like, wow, I didn't even know. Good for them.
I remember leaving that day, like, what have I got myself into?
Yesterday was the first time she said people wanted lungs, and then, like I said, always as many intact livers as possible.
So I don't want to sound like a salesman here, but I'm going to. So we return a portion of our fees to the clinics.
Yeah, and so if we alter our process and we are able to obtain intact fetal cadavers, it's all just a matter of line items.
Oh yeah, I mean if you had intact cases, which we've done a lot, so we've sometimes shipped those back to our lab in its entirety. Tell the lab it's coming. So don't open the box. Oh God.
And are we agreed that $100 would keep you happy?
I want a Lamborghini. I said I want a Lamborghini.
Don't we all, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The main character that you saw in that video is Dr. Deborah Nucatola with the salad and the wine at lunch, who's the Senior Director of Medical Services for Planned Parenthood National. That means that she is the top doctor and the top abortion doctor at Planned Parenthood, in charge of overseeing all of their so-called medical services at all of their locations across the country, in charge of training all of their abortion doctors, and in charge of writing their medical standards and guidelines for all of their affiliates. And in the full video of the conversation that our investigators had with her, Deb Nucatola describes an abortion procedure that you can line up line by line with the clinical and legal description of partial birth abortion, and it matches exactly. So to anyone who would say that these videos don't show Planned Parenthood corporately engaged in federal level felonies, I would just say that you're not listening hard enough. There is a paradox at the heart of Planned Parenthood's baby parts trafficking that I can never get over, and that I think is the reason that these videos are resonating with so many people from all different walks of life. On the one hand, the human fetus, the unborn baby, is not considered fully human enough. Their humanity is not considered equal enough to our own in order to be fully protected by our laws and in order to be protected from being killed by abortion. On the other hand, it is precisely their equal humanity that makes them valuable for sale and experimentation and makes Planned Parenthood and their harvesting proxies hunt after their body parts like buried treasure. That kind of contradiction lays bare the hypocrisy of legal, state-subsidized, industrial-scale child killing and organ harvesting in America. I'm a proud member of the millennial generation and the most pro-life cohort of Americans since Roe v. Wade in 1973. Many millennials realize that we've been a little gypped by the secular so-called progressive utopia promised by Planned Parenthood and their allies. Millennials grew up learning about the abolition of the slave trade in school, Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad, the gruesome genocides and triumphant civil rights marches of the 20th century. And now, so many of us are frankly scandalized and outraged by the fact that little human beings are being hurt, killed, and sold every day in the land of the free and the home of the brave by Planned Parenthood. The Planned Parenthood surgical abortion clinic just a few miles away in downtown Washington, D.C., Planned Parenthood's flagship location in the capital of our free country, is one of the locations recently partnered with the biotech company STEM Express to harvest and sell baby body parts. In the same city where the Declaration of Independence safeguards the inalienable rights of all human beings created equal. In the same city where Abraham Lincoln governed a free country to bring liberty to human beings who were treated like property. In this same city, little human beings are still being bought and sold. Washington, D.C. is not the only place where Planned Parenthood has sold aborted baby parts for the past 7 years under the yoke of a pro-abortion president. In that time, Planned Parenthood has been harvesting body parts from the babies that they kill in California, in Texas, in Michigan, in Oregon, in Colorado, in New York, in Utah, in Washington, in Wisconsin, and in any number of other locations that we don't yet know about because their leadership is too scared to admit it. Cecile Richards, the president and CEO of Planned Parenthood National, will testify under oath before Congress on Tuesday about these and other corrupt and illegal practices in Planned Parenthood's late-term and baby parts abortion business. Planned Parenthood's CEO has already admitted the 3 main charges that CMP has made since the very first video that we released. Number 1, that the organization sells aborted body parts for $60 per piece of baby. Number 2, that they changed their abortion methods in order to get a higher volume of saleable baby parts. And number 3, that Planned Parenthood supports and approves these barbaric transactions from the top of the organization on down. These are statements that she's put in her official letters to Congress. I want to encourage everyone in this room to continue to express your support for elected officials to hold Planned Parenthood accountable for these atrocities against humanity. It is unconscionable that Planned Parenthood, the biggest abortion business in America that regularly harvests and sells baby parts for profit, is subsidized by $528 million taxpayer dollars every year. It is unconscionable that they continue to hold themselves out as a legitimate mainstream medical organization when their entire business model is built around destroying and exploiting our unborn brothers and sisters. The worth of every human being is far more than the sum of his or her body parts. And the equal protection of the law should extend to all members of the human family, old or young, black or white, able or disabled, gay or straight, born or unborn. Those are the values. Those are the values of human dignity and human equality that should be reflected in our laws, our lawmakers, and our law enforcement. And so I want to encourage all of you today to carry those values forward from this conference here this weekend. Please continue to share these videos, continue to rally your communities around our common values, and together we will hasten the day when there is no longer a price tag put on human life. Thank you.